Alright, and then I say hello and welcome back to a new episode of Time TENSHI 2. And I would say we just continue. I mean, you might like the look of the current picture, but we have to continue, guys. When I arrived, the door slid open and revealed Michelle looking at me with a worried expression. What happened, Kenji? Are you alright? What about Rose and Q? I'm okay, I guess, and Grandpa, I understand. I mean, when you first arrived, you were hanging around. That's why I always made sure that you'd be out of here when they came back, and I'm sorry. I just let them back before getting you out of here first. That was my fault, and I still can't believe that they didn't remember me. I nodded slightly to this and sighed. Anyway, Tensai and Tessa, they're getting them to the experimental lab to check on them and stuff. He said that we needed to talk about what happened. Yeah, I know. The rest was silence as we waited and wondered about what was happening to our friends and to the future girls and all the rest of it. I paced about and Michelle fidgeted within the time window. Both of us a bundle of nerves until at last Tensai and Tessa arrived. Gramps, our Rose and Q, are they? They're sedated and resting now. So, how bad is it? Will they be okay? Eventually. Their neurotransmitter levels are off the charts and they're overloaded with estrogen, adrenaline, and more. But from what I can tell, they should recover within a day time. Already, their vitals are showing signs of stabilizing. Hopefully, rest and relaxation are all they need to fully recover. I just wish that I could consult Q on this, and I will be looking to find a new medical specialist to help deal with those situations in the future. But for now, we have more immediate concerns to address, namely what the bimbos from the future are up to, and just how badly they've already messed up the time stream by yanking Princess what's her name out of ancient Egypt. Mizuki called her princess the Pharaoh Ray, and you don't have to worry. And oh wait, she can't hear me. Kenji, could you? Right, sure. You just tell me what to say. And Michelle nodded her appreciation before going on to explain what she needed for me to say. Okay, so according to Michelle, she thinks the distortion that anchors us in the past when we go back in time also acts like a quantum placeholder, like time's guarantee that we will return from our travels and do what it needs for us to do. There you go again, Grams. Acting like time is kind of living being, like it controls what we do and not the other way around. There will be time to discuss what time is or isn't. For now, we have to address our current situation. Obviously, timeline has changed more drastically than we have first imagined. The fact that Bunny and Mizuki didn't remember Michelle is proof of that. I know, but I just don't understand why. Neither do I. However, that's not to change in time that I was thinking about. Well, what do you mean? I think that your merging with the time window is the reason why the Crontek girls don't remember you. As a result, I think that when they found the time window in future, it was still operational, or at least not so badly damaged that they needed any help to repair it. So, sorry Gramps, but that doesn't make sense. I mean, clearly the time window must have been destroyed over the centuries. I don't think that's the case, Michelle. I think the reason that Mizuki and Bunny originally found the time window to be destroyed is because I was the one who destroyed it. My grandfather's words left stunned silence in their wake. Wait, what? What do you mean, Tensai? The truth is, once the time window was fully operational and we started exploring time and recording information, I had already vowed that unless I could find a successor to take care of this technology and use it responsibly, I would destroy it completely. Make certain that it could not be rebuilt. In fact, after the appearance of Bunny and Mizuki, I had already made up my mind to do just that once we had identified where they were and put an end to their activities. Wait, but Gramps, that's insane. You were seriously going to destroy the time window? It's the greatest invention. The greatest invention in all of human history, with the potential to do so much good. And you were just going to... Yes, Michelle, I was. Because no matter how good and wonderful a machine or some other discovery may appear to be, it only becomes good or evil depending upon how it's used. If the time window could not be used responsibly, then all it could ever be was a force of destruction, and in that case, it would have to be destroyed. We tiny, weak little human beings and the world we live in. In the world we live in, we are tampering with a world that we have only barely begun to understand, and we do so at our own peril. I knew from the very moment that we sent Q and Rose on their first successful trip into the past that no matter what happened, I had to make sure that the time window never fell into the wrong hands, no matter what that entailed. So that's why you thought that the distress beacon from Bunny and Mizuki was a trick by some hackers in our time? You were already planning on destroying the time window and making sure that no one could use it to send a distress beacon in the first place? But that changed, Michelle. You changed that. What happened to you changed all of my plans. Already Already I and the other girls have been working up modifications to this lab that would allow you greater amounts of control and ability. Mechanical arms, robotic drones, security cameras and more. And who knows, perhaps myself or others yet to come will make even more adjustments to this place. New equipment that will allow you to maintain the lab unassisted, keeping it from falling into the state of disrepair that Mizuki and Bunny originally found it in. But wait, it's not possible. I couldn't maintain the window or the rest of this place for centuries. We still don't know the full consequences of your merging with the time window, Michelle, or how long you will live. Now that your physical form exists inside that pocket dimension. Perhaps long enough to assist Mizuki and Bunny when they come here in the future. But Grandpa, Bunny didn't recognize Michelle's name. Doesn't that mean... And what's to stop Michelle from taking a different name over the centuries? Don't forget that we don't know how her merging with the time window will affect her, especially over such a long period of time. I had to admit, I didn't think of that one. Listen, maybe we should try to approach Bunny and Mizuki again. Contact them or talk to them when they show up again. I mean, they're not evil, remember? They're just trying to save their world, so no, Kenji. They're not trying to save their world, they're trying to prevent their world from existing in the first place, and in the process potentially create even more time paradoxes. And we've already seen the results of that. Listen, I have to go back and monitor Rose and Kyu's condition. The rest of you should get some rest. We've already had a very long day, and I doubt it will be the last such day in the near future. With these words, Tensai turned and left the time in the room, leaving a silence in his wake. Michelle, if you want, I could stick around for a bit. Maybe play a video game, or if you want to just talk about what happened, and thanks, but I think I'd rather be alone for a while. I have got a lot to think about right now, and I don't think it'd be very good company. Why don't you get some rest or something? Well, okay, though I might check in on you later if that's okay. Sure, that's fine. There was a brief silence in the time window room, before I turned away from Michelle and saw Tessa exhaling loudly. Honestly, the sooner I go through the time window and am finally able to see and hear Michelle as well, the better I like it. I'm really getting tired of only being in on half of these conversations. Not sure how to respond to that. I just nodded and made my way out of the time in the room, aware that Tessa was a short distance behind me. So Ken, got any plans on how you're gonna spend your downtime? I don't know. I'm not sleepy or hungry or anything, and I hear that. Hey, I have an idea. Whenever life turns to dog-do on me, I always hit the gym. And I could use a spotter, and to be honest, I need to spend some time talking about the sheer crazy we just saw before my brain breaks. So how about it? Care to spot for me? Well, okay, but what's a spotter? A spotter is kind of like an assistant for when you're working out. Basically, I'm gonna be pumping some iron, and I could use someone there to help keep an eye on things and make sure that I don't wind up breaking anything in the process. So, would you mind helping me out on that? No, that doesn't sound too hard, so okay. Great, I'll meet you at the gym in 5. With that, Tessa darted off, leaving me to myself. Without any better ideas, I made my way towards the gym and proceeded to wait. And in the empty silence of the gym, a lot more confusion and concern floated up into my thoughts. There was one thing I couldn't escape, the fact that Bunny and Mizuki were up to something that seemed bigger than their previous endeavors. And with the range of their time window extended so that they could go back thousands of years into the past, where there was no telling what would happen next. This is making my brain hurt. Join the front, Ken. Taking note of Tessa's voice, I turned to see her standing behind me. So tell me something, Ken. You work out? You look to be in good shape. Well, I do jogging mostly, though sometimes I hit the gym at school, and I like to do a lot of outdoor stuff. I bet. Anywho, let's go to work. I'm gonna need to pump a whole lot of iron to bust this funk. With that, Tessa made her way over to the changing room. A few moments later, she emerged wearing a t-shirt and very short shorts. She also wore a headband and wristbands and had socks and sneakers on. She went over to the weight bench and prepped a barbell as well as going over what she needed me to do as her spotter. Oh my gosh. And for the next several minutes, that exactly what I did was just watch Tessa work out and be ready to help in case something went awry. I watched and listened as she grunted with the effort, as her chest heaved with every exertion and every breath she took. It wasn't long before perspiration began to roll down her entire body, with several rivulets descending into the crevice of her cleavage. Fortunately, Tessa was too focused on the workout to notice my eyes wandering around. And as she went through her workout, pausing only for a sip from her water bottle between working sets, I found myself curious about her. So, Tessa, would you mind me asking you a few questions? Of course not. Go ahead and shoot. Well, if you don't mind, I was kind of wondering why exactly don't you like being called cute? As soon as I said this, Tessa paused in mid-repetition and shot me a dirty look, but then she sighed and continued her workout. I guess that's a fair question, given that most folks wouldn't mind being called cute. Let's fire up the imaginary time window for a trip down memory lane. More specifically, when I was a little girl living with my mother, whom my father had been wise enough to divorce. Too bad he wasn't able to get custody of me instead of the old bag. Wow, so you didn't get along with your mother, huh? And we have another contender for the title of Understatement of the Century. Anyway, my mother had basically mapped out my entire future for me, was ready and willing to do whatever she felt she had to make sure that I grew up in exactly the way she wanted me to. And one of these big goals she had in store for me was making sure I became a cheerleader. Wait, Rose, she mentioned that you used to be a cheerleader. Yeah, I bet she did. TENSHI let the little detail drop when he was introducing me to the others. And brother, do I wish he hadn't, because it was dear old Morty that forced me to become a cheerleader in the first place. Seriously, you wanna know what my sweet 6th birthday present was, Ken? A stinking cheerleader outfit. I got gymnastic lessons, lectures on how to be graceful and cute, that sort of crud. Well, gymnastics I enjoyed, but not the rest of it. She was going out of her way to make sure that I made the team years before I was even ready for high school. Really? That's weird. I mean, I can see a mother wanting her daughter to be an actress or a doctor or something like that, but a cheerleader? Hey, come on, common sense and my mother weren't exactly good bedfellows. All I know is that cheerleading was one of the big things she had on her brain, and she wanted to make sure that I made the team. I mean, before I even started my freshman year at high school, she tried to talk me into getting a boob job so I could stand out more and have a better shot at it. Oh my gosh, what a mother is that? At this, I couldn't help but glance down at the assets in question. Tessa's workout clothes were clinging tightly to her frame with perspiration. And though I didn't consider myself an expert on such things, her breasts certainly seemed generously proportioned to me. I guess you said no, but what does all of this have to do with why you don't like being called cute. Well, at first I didn't mind it. Back in my younger years, cute was the thing to be. But as I started growing up, I noticed a few things. First of all, I realized that I was the only one who was still being called cute, and more, I noticed the way people started calling me that. Like it was a stealth insult of some kind. And then I started thinking it over, and I realized that kinds of things people call cute. Babies, they're called cute. Baby animals, they're called cute too. Stuffed animals, some toys, cute and cute. In other words, people and animals that were too small and weak to be able to take care of themselves, they were called cute. And toys, possessions, they were cute. And when I realized that, I also realized that my mother had been doing. All those years she had been treating me like her own living doll to do with as she wanted. Not a person with her own mind. When I realized that, I really got mad. And from then on, if you wanted to get me royalty tick off, then calling me cute was the way to go. I see. What about all your clothes? No offense, but what you're wearing earlier wasn't exactly hardcore. Believe me, I am well aware of that, Ken. And when TENSHI gave me my current job, as well as the chance to work on my degree, the very first thing I wanted to do was chuck out my entire wardrobe and get about as far south of cute as I possibly could. But your grandfather, he talked me out of it. Huh? How'd he do that? Partly by using some solid logic. Replacing my entire wardrobe would cost me plenty of money. And though he paid me decently for running that warehouse he had set up, I also had college and other expenses to deal with, so blowing all the money like that wouldn't have been very smart. Also, and this is really embarrassing, so don't go spreading it around, okay? I've spent so many years doing up my hair like this and dressing this way, it's becoming like a bad habit. Really? For real. A lot of the time when I first wake up, I be on autopilot, only to be having breakfast and just realized then these ribbons are in my hair. And I've also figured out something else about me, something really important. And what is it? That I've never seen another pom-pom again for the rest of my life. It will be too soon. Whew. That was good sweat. At this, Tessa hefted the weights she had been lifting and returned them to their storage rack before heading back to the changing room. A little while later, she emerged again. And I would say for now we end it here so you can have the look on this beautiful picture. And you can see her slips, her slip, you can see her, you know what I mean, and you can see her boobs, and yeah. So this is the perfect picture for a perfect ending, and then I would say thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching. If you liked it, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up, and if you don't want to miss any of the further action, because there will be much more, then just click on the subscribe button and you won't miss anything. And then I would say thanks for watching, bye for now, your pacemaker.